Hello everybody, I'm Rachel Tuggle from over at the Rachel Tuggle blog, and this month I wanted to tell y'all about how I'm going to set up for One Book July. This will be my first year to participate. One Book July is a challenge that's set up by a few different YouTubers. There's Carrie Harling, Miss Vicky B, and Romany's Realm, and what they have decided to do a few years ago was create a challenge for those of us who love planning to simplify everything down to one book and one pen for 1 month, basically. And then we post weekly updates and things like that throughout the month of July. So I'll be doing that, and this is my initial setup video, and after this week I'll be showing y'all how it's going with weekly updates, and then I'll kind of post my conclusions at the end in a video at the end of July. So to get started, let me show y'all my one book. This is my book for One Book July. It is a, I don't know how to say it, a Leuchtturm, I don't know, a Leuchtturm 1917, and it is an A5 size, dotted. So this will be my one book for July, and I say that term loosely. I say it loosely because, like Carrie says, you shouldn't drive yourself crazy with this challenge, so I'm not going to. This was my original setup. This is where I've been for the past few months. This is the Chic Sparrow A6, whoops, Outlander, and this is where I have my bullet journal, some monthlies, notes, all kinds of stuff. It's all to my wallet. And so this is what I've been using. And I was really struggling because I love this book, but there's not enough room in it for me to do a One Book July in it because I'm going to need some more space. So my fiance actually ended up making the call for me because I just couldn't decide whether to go with this one or with this one. So he decided that I should do this. So this is what we're going to do for a month. So that's how that's going to work. But let me tell you how I'm going to interpret this challenge. And I'm looking at my notes, that way I don't forget to tell y'all anything. I'm not going to be using one pen because I color code. I color code the heck out of everything. And so I'm not going to move to one pen for a month because I'll go a little bit crazy, and that's fine. So I've got this book, and then I've got a couple other books that I'm going to use throughout the month. This is my journal. This is where I do like the emotional journal, gushing type of thing, and I'm not going to put that in my one book because I'm going to be showing y'all that throughout the month, and I'm going to be carrying it around with me everywhere. And I don't want anybody to see what goes in here, so I leave it at home usually, but this is going to go with me everywhere. So and I'll leave all the journaling at home. Then I also have a couple of things for my quiet time. This is my prayer journal. It's got all of my prayer requests. It's got all of my prayers. It's got all kinds of stuff in here. And I reference it all the time. But if I move this into my one book, the whole notebook would be full and I would have nowhere to write for One Book July. So I'm going to leave this and reference it throughout the month. This is what I use for Bible studies and sermon notes and all other kinds of stuff. And I'm actually going to be moving most of it into One Book July. Like I do daily scripture writing, things like that, sermon notes, those will all go in here. Some stuff will probably stay in here for reference that I use occasionally that I just don't want to recopy because then I'll have to copy it back at the end of the month, and that's really annoying. So I'm not going to do that. What I am going to be doing is using my one book by putting in all of my work notes. Those used to be in here. I work as a journalist, so I have a whole lot of notes all the time. That's going to go in here. My planning is going in here. My goal setting is going in here. My weekly reviews, my daily reviews, all that kind of stuff is going in here. Along with my morning pages that I really don't do that often, but when I do them, they're also going to go in here. And then, of course, some of my devotionals and things like that I'm still kind of working out the kinks on. So that's all that's going in here. Then there's the second part of the challenge this month, which is called Go Big or Go Home. And the way I'm interpreting that is going up from the A6 to the A5 size. Because I really struggle with this size a lot, you guys. I used to bullet journal in just a regular notebook like this. And what I found is the A5 is usually too big for me. And so I never finish an A5 journal, because all the space kind of freaks me out and I don't use it. My favorite size is actually this one over here, the B6, but I'm not emptying out this notebook to use a B6 journal this month. So it was either stay small in an A6 or go up to an A5. So this is how I'm going big. We're going to see how this works, and I really hope it does, because this is where I am for the month, so I hope I like it. So with that, I'm going to flip you over to a downward view, and I'm going to show you how I have this set up for the month. I'm doing it bullet journal style. I'll have an index at the beginning, and then I'll follow through with the pages after that. I hope you enjoy. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel so you can see my updates, and I'll see you at my desk. Thanks, guys. Alright, so here is my one book for One Book July, and I'll show you a couple of my supplies. First of all, we have whiteout, because this is very important. And then I have my Statler Tri-Plus fine liners. Here's a few of them for you to see. I also have the black one that I'll mainly be using for the month. And then I have Tombow dual brush pens. These are basically going to work like highlighters, or if I'm getting really frisky, I'll do some brush lettering. Probably not going to happen though. So here's my book, and like I said, it's a Leuchtturm 1917, and it's in a yellow color, obviously. I have this front part taped together because I used it for something else before it became my One Book July, and so I don't really care to see those pages. I want to be able to flip right to my index, so I just taped it together. So I have one full spread as an index, and then from here we're going to go kind of bullet journal style throughout the rest of the book. The first page I have is my July monthly view. This view just really works for me. You know, you grow up using the school agendas and school calendars and things, so you always see the monthly view. So that's what I'm used to. Having it listed or in different ways doesn't really work for me. So this is what we're going with. This is the first example you see of my color coding as well. All the bills and paydays are in green. All of my videos and blog posts are just kind of noted in orange, and then my fiance's work schedule is down at the bottom of each day in red. And then I thought, what the heck, I'm color coding, so I might as well use color, so I made some fireworks to celebrate the 4th of July in red and blue. Then we turn the page and we have my July goals and July projects. I haven't set this up yet because I'm hoping to get to it later this week. I'm filming this video a little early, so I haven't actually decided what my focuses are going to be in July. But once I set up my goals, I'm going to set up my projects based on my goals, and then I'm going to lay them out in the weeks. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and then kind of list my steps, so that way I have my goals and projects broken down. And then on the next page, we have my budget, my expense tracker. It's fairly self-explanatory. I have a variable income, so I have my estimated budget, which is kind of my minimum amount that I expect to make in the month, in my expenses, and then I have my actual. That way I can see how accurate I am in basically guessing how much I'm going to make in a month. So everything is still in pencil. I have a couple things I'm still working out before the month starts, so I haven't put it in pen yet. And then an expense tracker, it's like most other people's. You've got your date, you've got your item you bought, where you bought it from, and the cost. Then I have a small section down here at the bottom where I can list next month's expenses that I know are coming up. Like I have my fiance's birthday next month, so I know I need to lay aside some money to get him a gift. So I have that at the bottom. Then the next page is my Insta Planner and the challenges I'm planning on participating in. You can see I already messed up, and I just covered it up with washi tape, so that's fine. And none of the challenges have been posted yet, because like I said, I'm filming this video a little early, so I can't fill this out. This Insta Planner is going to be really similar to the one I showed you in my A6 Chic Sparrow flip through. I took the idea from Journalspiration Instagram account, and I'm going to fill this up again closer to the start of July. But this is my basic setup. I'm going to try a monthly habit tracker this month. In the past, it really varies for me whether I use a monthly habit tracker. For some reason, weeklies seem to work better for me. But since we're doing One Book July, I thought, well, I'll try and put all my habits back on one page and we'll see how this goes. Then I have a time tracker over here. I got this idea from Kara Benz over at Boho Berry. She's a big bullet journalist. I don't know how you say that. But for a while she was doing a time tracker where she tracked what she was working, how much she was working, things like that. And so I'm going to do that for this month, and this is another reason I need the color code, because I'll mark work in one color, blog stuff in another color, etc., etc. This is the first time I'm doing this, but I kind of feel a need to because my days are kind of starting to get away from me because I have 2 jobs and then this blog and several other things that are currently going on, so I need to make sure I'm making the best use of my time. And I'm hoping this time tracker will help me do that. Then this spread, I really probably should have put it right after the index, but I kind of was debating on doing this or not, so it ended up here. And this is a Calendex. For those of you that don't know, a Calendex was developed a while back for bullet journals. I don't remember who first came up with the idea, but they were a genius, so thank you, whoever you are. Basically what it is you set up your months. I have it set up through the end of the year. And you just line up these numbers 1 through 31, and then when you write an appointment down, you write it down in your dailies back in here. And then what you do is you basically index it up here. So what I will do is, let's say I make an appointment for October 8th and it's back here in my dailies. I write that down, and then I come up here and I go to October. I go down to 8. That's this day right here. And I will write down the page number that the appointment is on here. And then some people color code it, some people don't. I'm into color coding right now, so I'll probably color code it. And then that way when I'm making out my monthly, I can look here and be like, oh, I have an appointment on page, I don't know, 200 for October 8th. I'll look at it, and then I can transfer it to my monthly, my weekly, my daily, whatever. And that's kind of how that works. So I was really debating on doing this or not. But as you can see, I'm getting married and I've got to schedule some things out in advance. Like engagement, portraits, bridal portraits, shower dates, things like that. So I need to see these days and know what the heck is going on, so I don't actually accidentally schedule some big engagement / wedding thing on a day where I have an exam or something like that, or my fiance has work so he can't be there. So that's what this is for. And then the last page is just a stats tracker for the blog. Really simple. I'll just update it on the 15th and on the 31st. I may put some things down here, anything of importance that I notice going on, or I may add some more stats. We'll see. And then I'll flip right over and I'll go into either dailies or a weekly or a collection or whatever it is I need to do first. So this is my One Book July setup for the month of July 2017. If you want to follow along, be sure to go over and just press the subscribe button to my channel. I'll be trying to do the weekly updates like we're supposed to do for this challenge. And I'll be sure to post kind of my conclusions at the end and how it worked out for me. Thank you all for following along. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, and y'all have a great day. Bye.